Welcome to Muscles and Magic the Gathering. My name is Bobby Maximus. I am the Muscles. These cards, Magic the Gathering, something that's been a massive passion of mine for 31 years. I literally started playing in 1994. My very first set was unlimited. And you're here because for you, Magic the Gathering is also a passion. You're here because you love Commander, the greatest format in Magic the Gathering history. You're here because you love Universes Beyond, Avatar, The Last Airbender, and most importantly, you are here because you want to talk about all things equipment for a Sokka Swordmaster deck. And that's what we're here to do today. I'm going to give you the very best equipment or equipment supporting cards in Magic the Gathering to make the best Sokka Swordmaster deck of all time. But as always, we're going to start with our commander. And this one is from Avatar Jumpstart, Sokka Swordmaster. It costs 2 colorless and 1 white mana, so you're going to be building a mono white deck. It's got Vigilance. It's a 3/3 creature, by the way. Equipment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each ally you control. At the beginning of combat on your turn, attach up to 1 target equipment you control to Sokka. So this is the ultimate commander to build a Voltron-style deck. And like I said, I have all the equipment cards in store for you today. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do with this commander, you're going to want to load the deck with allies so you can make all your equipment cheaper to cast. Absolutely, you're going to do that. But beyond that, you're going to want a bunch of good equipment-style cards. So let's take a look. And we're going to start with some cards that I call equipment supporting cards, if you will. The first one is a sorcery. Open the armory. Search your library for an aura or equipment card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. The most important part to building a winning commander deck is card draw, mana ramp, and you guessed it, tutors. This is an incredible equipment tutor, so get yourself an Open the Armory. Next, the Steel Shaper's Gift, an even better tutor. Search your library for an equipment card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Double the tutors for double the fun. The next one is an enchantment, and it's called Forge Anew. When this enchantment enters, return target equipment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. During your turn, you may activate equipment abilities anytime you could cast an instant, and you may pay 0 rather than pay the equip cost of the first equip ability you activate during each of your turns. Incredible for an equipment deck, all right? We got the beautiful Final Fantasy Secret Lair version of it there. And another enchantment, Sigarda's Aid. It costs 1 white mana. You may cast aura and equipment spells as though they had flash. And whenever an equipment enters the battlefield under your control, you may attach it to target creature you control. So just a bunch of different ways here to get a bunch of equipment on our hero of the day, Sokka Swordmaster. Now we're going to look at some creatures. Now, this isn't an equipment-style creature. However, we do need to include Suki, Courageous Rescuer, Sokka's girlfriend, in the mix. Other creatures you control get +1/+0, so it's going to act as a creature anthem. And then whenever another permanent you control leaves the battlefield during your turn, create a 1/1 white ally creature token. This ability triggers once each turn, so it's going to fit into that ally theme with Sokka. Next one up, Shram, Senior Edificer. Whenever you cast an aura, equipment, or vehicle spell, draw a card. And what did I say earlier about your 3 keys to winning? Mana ramp, card draw, and tutors. This handles the card draw aspect. And another one of those cards was super low casting cost. I got to tell you, back to Sokka for a second, one of the things I love about this commander is a low casting cost. I love low casting cost cards. Next creature up, the Stoneforge Mystic. When Stoneforge Mystic enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an equipment card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. And then if you pay 2 mana and tap it, you may put an equipment card from your hand onto the battlefield. So another tutor type effect. Any type of equipment deck, you're going to have a Stoneforge Mystic. The Pure Steel Paladin. Whenever an equipment enters the battlefield under your control, you draw a card. Card draw everything. And then Metalcraft. Equipment you control have equipped 0 as long as you control 3 or more artifacts. So another incredible creature to have in your equipment deck. Here's actually the commander of my equipment deck. In my equipment deck, I will put a link to it in the show notes. But at the beginning of combat on your turn, by the way, it's Ardent Intrepid Archaeologist. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may attach any number of auras and equipment you control to target permanent or player. Just might as well attach everything to Sokka. We have Halvar, the god of battle. Creatures you control that are enchanted or equipped have double strike. At the beginning of each combat, you may attach target aura or equipment attached to a creature you control to target creature you control. And then the other side of Halvar is a legendary piece of equipment called Sword of the Realms. Equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has vigilance. Whenever equipped creature dies, return it to its owner's hand and equip its 2. Another great card. 2 more creatures left for you. First one up, Armored Sky Hunter. Flying, when Armored Sky Hunter attacks, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may put an aura or equipment card from among them onto the battlefield. If an equipment is put onto the battlefield this way, you may attach it to a creature you control. Put the rest of those cards on the bottom of your library in a random order. And then finally, and you knew he had to be in it, Cloud, the Midgar Mercenary. We've got a beautiful Japanese printing in here from Final Fantasy. When Cloud enters, search your library for an equipment card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. As long as Cloud is equipped, if an ability of Cloud or an equipment attached to it triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. Incredible card for your Sokka Swordmaster deck. Not allies, but just a bunch of great creatures to include for that equipment feature, all right? Now let's look at the actual equipment, and here's some of my favorite equipment. First of all, Cloud's Buster Sword, a.k.a. Umezawa's Jit. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage, put 2 charge counters on Cloud's Buster Sword. Remove a charge counter from Cloud's Buster Sword. Choose 1. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 till the end of turn. Target creature gets -1/-1 until the end of turn, or you gain 2 life. Equip 2. Excalibur, Sword of Eden. This spell costs X less to cast, where X is the total mana value of historic permanents you control. This has a massive casting cost of 12, and normally I stay away from cards like this, but I have never paid 12 for this in my life in an equipment deck. Equipped creature gets +10/+0 and has vigilance. And then to equip a legendary creature, it only costs 2. The next, the Hammer of Nazalin. The Pico Hammer. Whenever Pico Hammer or another equipment you control enters, you may attach that equipment to target creature you control. Equipped creature gets +2/+0. It has indestructible. One of the greatest pieces of equipment of all time. Not Cloud's Buster Sword, the Secret Lair version. It is the actual Buster Sword. Equipped creature gets +3/+2. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Then you may cast a spell from your hand with mana value less than or equal to that damage without paying its mana cost. Arguably one of the best pieces of equipment in Magic the Gathering history. Get yourself a Buster Sword. The Shadow Spear, Lord of the Rings style, Morgul Knife. Equipped creature gets +1/+1. It has trample and lifelink. You pay 1. Permanent your opponent's control, lose hexproof and indestructible till the end of turn. Incredible. And then the Colossus Hammer. And in this deck, this is going to be insane because you saw all those earlier creatures and sports style cards that you attach a piece of equipment for free. This only costs 1. Equipped creature gets +10/+10. The equip cost is 8, but we are never going to pay the equip cost with this card in this style of deck. So Colossus Hammer can auto include. And now, for the home stretch, the greatest swords in Magic the Gathering history. For who other than Sokka Swordmaster. The name matters here. Semantics matter. Sword Master Sokka needs his sword. The first sword up, Titus's Brotherhood Sword, a.k.a. the Sword of Truth and Justice. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has protection from white and blue. Whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, put a 1/1 counter on a creature you control, then proliferate. Sword of Once and Future. Protection from blue and black, +2/+2. Equipped creature deals combat damage, or whenever it deals combat damage to a player, surveil 2. Then you may cast an instant or sorcery spell with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. If that spell would be put into your graveyard, exile it instead. Sword of War and Peace. Protection from red and white, +2/+2 again. Whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, War and Peace deals damage to that player equal to the number of cards in their hand, and you gain 1 life for each card in your hand. Light and Shadow. I told you I had all the swords. +2/+2. Protection from white and black. Whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you gain 3 life. You may return up to 1 target creature card from the graveyard to your hand. We're getting into the big-time swords coming up. Sword of Forge and Frontier. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has protection from red and green. Whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play those cards this turn. You may play an additional land this turn as well. And now, for the 3 best Magic the Gathering swords of all time. Sword of Wealth and Power. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has protection from instants and sorceries. Whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. When you next cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. Not to be outdone, the Sword of Fire and Ice in a beautiful, beautiful double Masters foil art printing of it. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has protection from red and blue. Whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, Sword of Fire Ice deals 2 damage to a target and you draw a card. Card draw is everything. And if you were screaming what Bobby Maximus is the best sword of all time, you knew what it was. It's the Sword of Feast and Famine, universally regarded as the greatest sword of all time. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has protection from black and green. Whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, that player discards a card and you untap all lands you control. Massive sword. So there you have it. That's how you're going to build a Sokka Swordmaster deck. We had those swords. Let's count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 beautiful swords. We have a bunch more equipment. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 pieces of equipment so far. What an incredible start to your Sokka deck. We have those creatures that you're going to put in. You're going to put in Cloud, an Armored Sky Hunter, Halvar, the God of Battle. I'm just going to flip it back around because it was on the other side. I really like these dual-sided cards. Arden, Intrepid Archaeologist, Pure Steel Paladin, Stoneforge Mystic, and SRAM Senior Artificer. Huge card. Okay, and we cannot forget Suki. Needs to be in there, and it is a great ally. And then we have Forge Anew, Open the Armory, Steel Shaper's Gift, and Sigarda's Aid. Like, what an incredible start to your Sokka Swordmaster deck. These are all things equipment. You throw a bunch of allies in this deck. You throw a bunch of great low casting cost stacks, white-type creatures like the Grand Abolisher, the Voice of Victory, the Drannith Magistrate, maybe an Aven Interrupter. You are well on your way to building one of the best commander decks you possibly can. I got to tell you, Avatar has a plethora of insane commanders, and this is one I actually think I want to build. I think I could use a mono white equipment deck. I've already got a red and white equipment deck. I will put the link to that in the show notes, like I said, but I would love to build another one. So there you have it. Subscribe, smash that like button. And most importantly, if you have any recommendations that you want to put in a Sokka Swordmaster deck, put them in the comments below. We all learn together. Thank you for coming to another episode of Muscles Magic the Gathering.